If a tech billionaire invited you to join him and his friends on an idyllic vacation to his private island, would you have a good time? Amidst stunning scenery, glamorous guests, endless champagne, and lively dance parties, a darker presence lurks beneath the picturesque exterior. While scrolling through her phone, Frida comes across news articles and video interviews featuring billionaire Slater King. Over the past year, he has faced disgrace due to allegations of inappropriate behavior. But he's now attempting to rebuild his image, hoping for public forgiveness. Frida has always been fond of Slater King. As she finishes up in the bathroom and stares into the mirror, she can't remember how she got the scar. Frida and her best friend Jess are cocktail waitresses at a gala event hosted by Slater's company. As the night goes on, Jess sneaks in dresses for them to blend in with the guests. Frida accidentally draws attention when her heel snaps, causing her to stumble. Slater steps in, helps her up, and playfully breaks off her other heel to balance things out. His charm works on Frida, and he introduces her to his circle of wealthy friends. By the end of the evening, Slater extends an invitation to both Frida and Jess to join him and his friends on his exclusive private island. Frida and Jess fly to the island where they are joined by Slater's friends, and Slater's personal assistant Stacy, who confiscates everyone's phones upon arrival. When Frida reaches her room, she finds a bottle of perfume and sprays herself with it. A maid appears and speaks to her, but all she can say is, "Red Rabbit." While the others relax by the pool, Frida takes a private tour of the island with Slater. He mentions that there are snakes on the property, and his staff has to deal with them. They also chat about Frida's small business in animal-themed nail art. During the walk, they pass Stacy, who is carrying several red gift bags. Later that evening, they gather with the rest of the group for dinner, followed by taking MDMA droplets. During dinner, Frida accidentally gets red sauce on her white dress. The next morning, Frida wakes up in her bed next to Jess and notices that the red stain on her dress has mysteriously disappeared. As their time on the island continues, the guests appear to be enjoying themselves, but Frida begins to experience brief flashes of memories and finds herself waking up to strange things she can't explain, like dirt under her fingernails with no recollection of how it got there. When Frida tries to return Slater's vape pen, he introduces her to Rich, despite the fact that she distinctly remembers meeting him at the gala. Meanwhile, Jess also starts noticing odd occurrences. She grows suspicious after spotting the maid who spoke to Frida tending to some of the island's snakes. During a party one night, Jess screams out after being bitten by a snake. Slater quickly kills the snake and arranges for Jess's wound to be treated. Later, Jess confides in Frida, expressing her unease and telling her that something feels off about the island. Before returning to her room, Jess suddenly gets a nosebleed. The next day, Frida searches for Slater, but instead encounters the maid again, who offers her a liquor made from snake venom. Frida takes a sip and complains about the strong taste. As the day progresses, she notices strange things. Sarah has a mysterious bruise on her arm, and more disturbingly, Jess is missing. Even more unsettling is that Camilla and Heather don't seem to remember Jess at all, despite using the same lighter Jess had been sharing with them throughout the trip. Panicked, Frida rushes back to her room and discovers a knife hidden behind the mirror, triggering a flashback of Jess telling her to hide it. Frida confides in Sarah, who has also begun to sense something is wrong. Together, they investigate the room where Frida had previously seen the red gift bags. Frida manages to obtain more of the snake venom liquor and gives it to Sarah. They soon figure out that the flower used to make the women's perfume is causing them to forget things, while the snake venom might help them regain their memories. With this revelation, they trick Camilla and Heather into drinking it by mixing the venom with tequila for shots. Stacy joins them and unknowingly drinks some as well. As the group gets drunk, Frida takes the opportunity to sneak into Slater's office to recover their phones, while Sarah keeps watch in case anything goes wrong. Frida quickly hides when Slater enters the room with Stacy and his bodyguard, Stan. Among Slater's belongings, Frida discovers snapshots from a previous trip. As she starts to experience a nosebleed, her memory floods back. She recalls herself and the other women tied up and terrified. Jess had remembered everything, leading Stan to snap her neck. Frida manages to escape and tells Sarah what she uncovered. During dinner, more memories return to Frida. She realizes that the men have been assaulting the women, using the perfume to erase their memories afterward. Rich had recently assaulted Frida, which is why he was startled when she recognized him earlier. Frida and Sarah rally the group, getting everyone to dance while they plot their next move. Soon, Camilla and Heather's memories resurface. Camilla stabs Tom in the neck, killing him, while Heather tries to bludgeon Vic with a chessboard before Stan shoots her in the head. Stan then hunts down Frida, but is killed when Sarah bashes his head in with a rock. The remaining men take Camilla hostage in Slater's villa, where Slater crushes her neck with his foot until she dies. Frida is found by Stacy, furious that Frida made her remember the men's abuse. Stacy attacks Frida, but Frida manages to stab her in the heart. Meanwhile, Sarah corners Cody in the woods and kills him. Lucas, who hadn't participated in the crimes, starts recalling what he witnessed the other men do. Frida and Sarah confront Slater outside the villa. When Lucas opens the door, he is shot in the head. Inside the villa, Frida confronts Slater, briefly fighting him as more memories flood back. She remembers being on the island the previous year, escaping, but forgetting what happened. She recalls a scar on her head from when Slater let her fall onto a rock, biting off Vic's pinky. As Slater rants, he takes a hit from his vape pen. Unbeknownst to him, Frida laced it with the flower toxin to make him forget. Disoriented, he panics upon seeing the bodies and knocks over candles, setting the villa ablaze. Frida drags Slater outside, leaving Vic to burn. She seems to speak with Sarah, but when the camera pans out, she's alone with an unconscious Slater, watching the house go up in flames. Sometime later, Frida attends another gala with Slater, who remains under control with the flower toxin in his vape pen. As she mingles, she spots a nervous Rich, aware that she remembers him. The host introduces Frida as both Slater's wife and the new CEO of his company. For upcoming content, click like, pound that subscribe, and hit notification. Thank you for watching.